I actually only finished working at WMC just before Christmas last year. So it's still very, very, very fresh to me. And it was so funny. One of my fellow colleagues, duty managers, Kirsty, was sending me pictures a couple of weeks back because all the staff were putting out flyers for To Kill a Mockingbird. And she took a photo of everyone putting out the flyers, and I just thought, oh, that's so lovely. Like the community spirit is very much still there, and the support I had when I worked there is still so relevant now. I've had people message me from the volunteers that work there, commenting on stuff online, saying they can't wait to see me back. So it holds a really special place in my heart. It's such a beautiful venue, but also an even better community to be a part of. So I'm really excited to rejoin that. I'd always hoped that I'd return there. I always had a goal to do theatre, but I never thought that Mockingbird would be part of my journey, although I really wish that it would have been. So a little interesting stories. While I was at drama school training, I used to work on the box office at the Gielgud, which is where Mockingbird was playing in the West End. And at that time, I mean, things were very different. I was in my second, third year of drama school, but I dreamt of being part of this play, and I'd never read the book. It wasn't part of my childhood growing up. It wasn't part of my education. So I'd watched the play a couple of times, and I just connected so deeply with the character of Dill, and I had this longing in my heart just to play him or to audition for him and to play with the script. And I used to beg the company manager. I mean, now knowing that the company managers have no connection to the casting of the play is wild, but I used to beg him to let me audition for the play. And the time was never right, and the play was amazing. It had an incredible run in the West End, and I thought, okay, well, that's it, that's my shot. But like, I've experienced Dill through a different, I don't know, another worldly experience of like observing other actors play this character, and that was really beautiful to watch as well. So when the opportunity came around this year, well, the announcement came out in January, and I texted my agent straight away, and I said, please, please, please get me in the room. This is my dream. And very luckily they saw me, and then luckily I booked the job. So it's a real full circle moment there as well. Yeah, first tour for Mockingbird. They did a US tour after the Broadway run was closed early due to COVID as well. But yeah, the first ever UK tour, and they've been trying to work it out for years and years. And it was kind of last year they then started to put pieces together, thinking, "Oh, this is actually possible." And I think, like, what more of a better time to showcase this piece than now? And what's really bizarre is that nearly 100 years on, we're kind of still in the same place to some extent, and especially with what's happening in the US. I mean, it's a true reflection of what's happening right now, which is absolutely horrible and a dreadful place to be in the world. But I really love that the producers and the production and the director, they decided to hit this head on and still showcase this piece, because it's a really tricky piece. But I think audiences need to see it, and there's danger in that, but I think that danger really keeps it alive, you know? I hadn't studied it at school, but the book is so rich in its context, and there's such a wealth of information in there. So for Aaron to do such an amazing job at condensing that into a script, I mean, the play is still 3 hours long with the interval, but I mean, to contextualize all that into a play is wild, and the way he does it, and he interweaves these comedic elements that alleviate the heaviness of the piece is really genius. And there's so much in the text that's just amazing for an actor to work with. Beyond the acting itself, you can kind of just leave it do its own thing, which is amazing. I think what's really interesting as well is the dynamic and how it shifts when we get schools audiences in. And they're so supportive. I mean, the most supportive audiences they can be. But there's an element of just silence, because I think being faced with the reality of what this play is can be very hard hitting, even for us as adults and older people and more mature people with life experience. I mean, that's one thing, but these children are silent all throughout the show, and you're thinking, how are they receiving this information? Are they receiving this information? Are they digesting it properly? Are they understanding the full extent of what's going on? And then at the end of the show, there's this huge uproar for the piece. And I think what's beautiful is these child characters within the piece, Dill, Scout, and Jem, they reflect the reality of of children now and having to grow up pretty quickly and being faced with such tough politics and such tough views on the world that we're kind of forced to grow up much faster than we should be. It's my first ever play, so I've never done a theatre project before this, and I'd always dreamt of it, and it's where most people fall in love with acting is through theatre. I mean, being in South Wales, we've got like a plethora of youth theatre and amateur theatre, and that's where I really fell in love with acting. So to then step into this, I was like, I really want to do a play, and for it to be my dream role, I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it's really made me have this beautiful new understanding and respect for theatre actors, because it's exhausting, I mean, in the best way possible, but it's really testing. And I went to drama school, I graduated kind of December 2022, so nearly 3 years ago now, and to kind of rejig my brain to what it was then and to revisit all these exercises and the stamina that it takes to do a play has been amazing for me as an actor, but yeah, really, really eye-opening. And as you said, the emotional complexity of the play is also one thing. You want to do that justice every single night, and you want the people who come and invest in this piece to receive the message really deeply and for it to really hit home. And to do that takes a lot as an actor, emotionally, especially in Act 2 of the piece. I mean, it's kind of filled with all the emotion, one after another. So it's a lot, but we really support each other a lot within the company, and I think that's really important. And then in our days off, we try and do as much as we can. I mean, we're in Edinburgh right now, and we're going to be hiking Arthur's Seat in the next hour. So we're going to be doing that and just taking our minds away from the play and trying to fill our lives beyond it with air and light and happiness and love, you know? And I think also because I've got such a deep connection to the place, just from like performing there in school when I was a child, and I used to do choir a lot, and we used to sing on the Glanva stage, which is downstage. And then I did a few concerts there with Only Boys Allowed. I used to be part of that. And then working there was a whole different experience for me, because I'd just come out of drama school and I moved back to Wales after quite a turbulent time in drama school because of COVID. And I kind of reconnected with my roots a lot through WMC. I mean, one of the main things as well is I'm a Welsh speaker, I'm a fluent Welsh speaker, and through being in London, I kind of lost that practice. And as part of working at WMC, I really regained that confidence in the language. And really, truly, the most special thing about that place is the volunteers and the amount of hours that those people put into that place and creating this community and sense of home and a really welcoming atmosphere. I mean, I'm sure you'd agree, when you walk into that building, you instantly feel welcomed. And that's what I'm looking forward to experiencing the most. I've really missed that. I've been away from it for over a year now, so I'm really, really excited to go back. Yeah, and I've been trying to sell it to all the castmates. I'm like, well, you wait until you go. I mean, I'm biased, but I'm like, you wait till you go to Wales Millennium Centre, because we've been to some amazing theatres. I mean, we're at the Festival Theatre now, which is incredible. A huge, really grand theatre. But I think nothing compares to the sense of community that when you walk through the front door of Wales Millennium Centre, that there's so much beyond the theatre. And they do so much within the community and the programming and working with young people and working with many different creatives or people at different stages of their career. But also you can come to the space and you can be welcomed by someone and just have a chat and have a coffee. And I think it's a really unique space in that respect. I think it's especially important for these marginalised places in Wales. Like, I'm from the South Wales valleys, Rhondda Valleys, and I think, you know, we're not as exposed to the diversity of the world there as we are maybe in Cardiff now, whereas Cardiff is much more multicultural and there's an awakening to things that are happening in the world. But I really would urge people from further afield or from smaller towns to come and expose themselves to this play, because I really think it's a huge awakening, and it's something that will stay with you for the rest of your life.